Why can't people more often just say the word no? I tell my team all the time, I love a yes, I dislike a no, but I hate a maybe. Now, let me tell you why I'm saying this. I sell for a living and I speak to people all day long. And a lot of the time, I will speak to someone and they will say to me, or I'll ask for the sale, or we'll ask how they'd like to proceed. And you get that word, well, maybe, or, we'll think about it. And over time, what I've done is I've said to people now, because I'm comfortable with it, I like the chapter to be closed. Closed as in, yes, we're going to move ahead. We're going to do something. No, we're not going to move ahead. We're never going to move ahead. And we can close the book on that too. But maybe, majority of the time, tends to mean it's not going anywhere. And I'll tell you why. So, in my experience, what happens is the longer someone draws things out, the less chance there is of them actually doing something. So let's say you speak to someone and they're really interested, and this can be in life in general. This doesn't necessarily just pertain to business, but you speak to someone and they want to do something, and it's a yes, it's easy, it's done, solved. And sometimes it's a no, and that's, whilst that can be disheartening, it also gives confirmation it's not going ahead. But sometimes people don't want to say yes and they don't want to say no for whatever reason. Maybe they feel they're going to upset people, or they're, they don't want to come across as saying something that's going to, make the other person feel bad. So the way they'll sort of get out of that is by saying maybe. And I find that the toughest thing to deal with, because it kind of has no end to it. If you say yes in business, things are going ahead. If you say no in business, or in life, these could be as well, things aren't going ahead, but maybe can be sort of, it's maybe yes, it's maybe no. And in some cases, don't get me wrong, in some cases, this is actually true. If you've got a product or a service you're pitching to someone, and it's, let's say it's a large sale, or it's something very significant to for someone to invest in or buy or whatever it is, they may need time to think about it, to talk with someone else about it, to ruminate or think or just assess the situation before they go ahead. And that makes perfect sense. But sometimes people will not commit to a yes or no because they want to be polite. And as mentioned, they're the hardest ones to deal with, because you really don't know whether or not they're going ahead. They're going ahead. And I've had this in many cases. And over time, I've actually said to people in businesses is, if I feel the conversation's dragging along, I've looked at cases where I've spoken to someone, say, 10 or 15 times, and the situation keeps dragging out again and again and again. And I've said to people, like, flat out, you know what? It's okay. I don't mind if you say no. I hear no all the time, and that's perfectly fine. And it sometimes gives people that feeling of, hey, I can get out of this. I can, it's okay to say no. And I tell people, I'm, completely comfortable with it. Just, if you don't want to go ahead, it's okay to say no. I don't mind. I hear it often, and at least we get closure. But the maybes are the things where people stretch it out, and at some point you've kind of got to like cut the line and realize you've spoken to that person, or it's gone on for so long. Things probably aren't going anywhere. In business, at least I find, but remember, it can differ based on what you're selling. The longer someone puts something off, the less chance they have of actually doing or buying or whatever it is. So, I like I said, I give people the out now. I never did, but now I like to give people the out. I like to tell them it's okay to say no. I don't mind it. It's okay. We can at least close the chapter. And then if they do say no, is that a no forever, or is that a no just now? And people seem very comfortable with that. And you also do get the other people that will reconfirm their interest and may say something like, no, I am really interested. I just need to XYZ, run it past someone else or do something or whatever it is. And you can then from there really confirm who are the interested people that you should be continuing to talk to, and who the other ones are that you might need to sort of close the chapter on. So I hope that helps if you've ever come across those situations.